Pattern Cutting, the new series, Part 3. In Part 1 we drafted the back bodice. In Part 2, the front bodice. In the last episode we will finalise the waist shaping, cut out and true the pattern, and transfer to manila card with all the balance marks. These are the measurements I am using throughout this series. This is our draft so far. Check the info button for free support material, including the imperial measure version of this series, the ebook, and my table of average measurements. Find everything you will need at angelakane.com pattern cutting. So to continue. Basic waist shaping. Lower the front waistline by 1.5 centimeters or up to 2.5 centimeters in larger sizes. Draw in the new waistline. Reduce at the side seams by 2 centimeters on the back and by 1.5 centimeters on the front. Create gently curving side seams. The front side seam will curve out a little at the true bust level. Waist dart placement. Along the new waistline, draw dart guide lines that have their centre on the new waistline. Place them at 1/4 times chest width from centre front and 1/4 times back width from centre back. The back dart length will measure about 30 centimetres and the front dart length about 25 centimetres. Waist darts. Create the darts using the guidelines. The front dart is 3 centimetres wide at the waistline and the back dart is 2 centimetres wide, both centred on the dart guide line. Finish the blocks. This is the draft so far. Trace off and cut out. Trace the blocks off onto a new sheet of paper. Cut out the 2 blocks. We will transfer both darts away from the shoulder seams to true up the shoulder seam line. Leave an extra 2 centimetres above both shoulder seams. This will be trimmed away later. Transfer the bust dart to the side seam by slashing from 5 centimetres or more below the front underarm point to just short of the bust point. Also, carefully snip down from the end of the bust dart to just short of the bust point, so that the pieces are still just about joined. To transfer the back shoulder dart, slash from the back armhole to just short of the shoulder dart point. Rotate to transfer. Rotate the sections around the dart points, as shown, to close the darts and tape to secure. Correct seams. Rule across from neck point to shoulder point on both the back and front blocks. Cut straight across to correct the shoulder seams. Seams aligned. The seams are now aligned. Next, we will check that the armhole and neckline curves flow smoothly from back to front. Correct curves. Line up the 2 blocks along the shoulder seam and check that the neckline forms a smooth curve. Merge curves. Redraw when necessary. Shoulder seams must be the same length. Transfer darts. Return both darts to their original position. Line up side seams. Rotate the pieces to line up the side seams. Redraw the lines to correct the armhole curve if necessary. Trace onto card. Add balance marks as indicated. Trace the blocks onto card and use a notch tool to mark balance marks. The finished block. Balance marks are essential for matching seams and can be placed on construction lines and wherever else you think it is appropriate. Mark the main construction lines and, most importantly, label the block with a title, the size, date and any other useful notes. If you like this tutorial format, please subscribe for more of the same. Check out angelakane.com/pattern cutting for free support material, including the ebook for this series, my table of average measurements, the imperial measure version of this video, and more to help you with pattern cutting and flat pattern drafting. And thank you for watching this series.